Hey y'all, Kelly Whitney here with another thing older black women should tell younger black women, but don't audition for people. The internet is one of the most negative places you can choose voluntarily to dwell. If you didn't have your wits about you, you would literally think that all men hate women and all women are gold diggers, all women are just weak victims and all this and that. You have to curate as if your life depends on it in these digital spaces. Otherwise, I think your perception about life will get warped. Unless it is really that bad out there. Is it that bad out there? I'm gonna stay in my house. Ugh. When I say don't audition for people, what I mean is if you're trying to put yourself out there and build new friendships and relationships with men or women, you should just be able to be yourself. You should be able to present, I hope, the best version of yourself and be kind to others and that sort of thing. And then have that energy reciprocated. And then you decide based on getting to know someone and who they are and what they value, whether or not you would like to have that person in your life and vice versa. But if someone is forcing you to jump through hoops in order to spend time with them, if someone is always forcing you to do something in exchange for their company, that's not a relationship that you really should spend time on. Because anyone who's forcing you to audition without paying you a salary for that acting job and letting you know that you actually secured the part, and then after the rehearsal giving you the opportunity to perform on the stage for a crowd for the applause and recognition and all that, if you don't get that, how long do you have to audition? When do you know that you got the part? Or do you just have to audition forever? If it's a friendship dynamic, woman to woman, you meet someone, you like the look of her, you like her conversation, and you say, oh, I think I could learn something from this woman. We always have a good time together. I would like to be her friend. Yick, yick, yick. Now, if this individual always requires that you do something in order to secure her company or time, that's a huge red flag. I should not have to do something for you, give you something, money, loan you my things, give you advice, feed you, do something in your home because you're too busy, this or that. No, I think in that scenario, you're being used. The same is true if it's a man. If a man invites you into his home, encourages you to make yourself comfortable, but you're not comfortable, and then he says, oh, well, you can feel free to like spruce the place up and do this and do that. You should not do that because that's not your home and that's not your man. You don't go into his apartment and immediately start making it a home. You're not the mistress of that home. You see what I'm saying? I remember a time when a guy friend said to me, he's like, you never come in and clean up. If it's too bad in here, you just get up and leave. And I said, well, yes, I'm not the maid. Why would you expect me to clean when I come here? And furthermore, why would you invite me if it's not clean? Which is why I leave. He laughed and he said, well, that's just what most girls do. I said, well, what are you telling me that for? You want me to act like most girls? And I stopped fooling with that person because I began to discern a few things about his, expectations and behavior toward women that I didn't care for. I saw something else on social media. This woman and this man were on a couch talking to somebody. The man was complaining to the third party that the woman did not clean up, she doesn't cook. And she said, no, I do what's appropriate for a girlfriend. And the man goes like this. And she said, when I get wife status, then I will behave like a wife. I couldn't find any fault in what she said. Why do you think that any woman that you meet or might be dating should come in and do free domestic labor for you? To me, that's a huge red flag. First of all, why do you not keep your home clean? You just automatically expect the woman that you're dating to take on the role of a wife, even though she is not your wife? No. And the kicker is, I know a lot of women actually do that. But if you're out there doing a lot of stuff for these men and you have no real reason to, you're not the wife, you're not getting paid an allowance, that person is not providing for you in some way. Sometimes I feel like these women are doing stuff for men and they're not even kind to them. It just seems like y'all need to think twice about that kind of behavior. When you're auditioning for somebody, it doesn't mean that they're gonna give you what you want. Well, I do so much for her, I know she'll be my friend. I do so much for him, I know he'll make me his girlfriend. No. Usually when you enter into relationships and there is no reciprocity, the other person looks down on you, especially if they're not a good person to begin with and they may be pretending in some way to continue to get that treatment from you. Be wary of that. Don't continue to pour into relationships and not receive anything in return. And this isn't even all about monetary recompense. This is about kindness and consideration, gratitude, just behaving without like a pronounced sense of entitlement or expectation expectation. You see what I'm saying? Relationships, the positive ones, should always be a two-way street. If you find yourself spending time with someone else, man or a woman, and you find yourself drained all the time, that may not be a good relationship. People are quite clever, and I don't think that everybody's evil by any means. There's a lot of lovely people out there, but everybody is not always on the right shit. You need to be able to discern someone's intentions, and the best way to do that is to stop what you're doing and then see how they react. If you find that you're pouring into somebody, you feel hard done by, or you feel as though you're being taken advantage of, follow your gut. Because if your gut's telling you there's a problem, or your feelings are icky and you don't feel good, you feel like that for a reason. Listen to that. Don't just continue to pour into it and then hope that something changes. You gotta use your words. You gotta say, I'm spending a lot of time over with this girl, and she's getting this from me and she's getting that from me, and I'm not quite sure what I'm getting. Pull back. Evaluate from a distance. Curtail some of the conversation. Do the same thing for men. See how you feel in that person's absence. Do you feel better? Do you feel relieved? Do you feel more at ease? Then that may not be the right relationship for you. And sometimes it's not that somebody is a horrible person, and it's certainly not that you're a horrible person because you don't want to stay somewhere where it doesn't feel good. It's just about deciding who and where and on what you want to spend your energy. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's called being an adult. And I think older Black women don't always talk to younger women about not auditioning, because too many of us are used to auditioning. We're used to doing everything with jazz hands and tap dance and trying to get folks to love us and pay attention to us and do what we want them to do. But we're not using the words. We're not saying, hey, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. And if you don't, I'm gonna have to be A, B, and scram. You feel me? Your responsibility is not to be somebody's workhorse. Your responsibility is not to be somebody's emotional support animal, because that is only going to drain you dry and make you tired. That's not living well. So don't audition for folks, girls, unless you know when you're going to get the role and what the salary is. Okay? When it's opening night, you need to know all that. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this little video, and I hope you come back for the next one. Bye.